Hello everyone. Today we're going to be focusing on a different type of video. Now you see, for context, I'm actually a fan of the YouTuber Cin Tan Studios. In my opinion, they make good stories and good art. I'm into 2160, the Five Nights at Candy's AU, and also Kofao and its sequel. I don't know if Children of Freddy's AU is supposed to be spelled Kofao, but anyways, yeah. I'm excited for the sequel though. Now, thing is, recently they like expressed the idea of a project based off the old Springtrap and Delia series from 2017. Now, for context, let me give you a brief explanation of Springtrap and Delia. During 2017, the Springtrap and Delia series was basically a story set after the events of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, where basically Springtrap would become a father figure for a 14-year-old child named Delia. Now, a brief synopsis of Springtrap and or like summary of Springtrap and Delia is that basically sometime after FNAF 3, which given that time period this was the story of Springtrap and Delia was written and made in, takes place somewhere around 2023. It's However, if we were to consider the modern lore, it would take place in 2033. That doesn't really matter. Anyways, basically Springtrap like becomes a father figure for a little girl named Lai. I already said that, but yeah, on over the course of they face a few problems but end up at being best friends in the very end. Now here is why Baby and Derek, the new project or the new project idea of Cin Tan Studios, is should be considered over Springtrap and Delia remake, which Kintan Studios is attempting to make as well. So he's making us choose in a poll vote over Springtrap and Delia remake or Baby and Derek. Now here is why Baby and Derek is like the is like what must be made, has to, in my opinion, the best choice. First point is to consider the past. Now you see Springtrap and Delia was a type of very nostalgic or very iconic story. However, due to it staying unfinished, and if you were to get into the context of like the things that creator had planned, basically the unfinishedness and the other points I'm about to mention basically left an impact on the whole community. So yeah, first of all, Springtrap and Delia already has a not so good history. Now here is why Springtrap and Delia is objectively bad. First of all is the context of the story. Thing is, the story may seem wholesome, but it turns out the creator actually made the story with a different idea in mind. According to some screenshots taken around the time, the creator had actually portrayed them in a type of inappropriate relationship. If you were to suggest take the lore at that time, Springtrap would be like well over 30 years old. Delia is like 14. It's I think 2023, so remember, she's not legal. Now, not only that, the creator of the Springtrap and Delia actually like acknowledged how they ship Springtrap and Delia in a type of romance related relationship, even created tons of inappropriate, to say the very very least, art about them performing illegal gymnastics. And if we were to this takes us to B, the canon. The creator had suggested or stated multiple times that the where I told you about illegal gymnastics, is indeed a canon thing. Not to mention that there are two endings or two like alternate universes that two endings are considered the canon endings of Springtrap and Delia. There's no objectively canon ending, just two endings are considered canon and one ending that is a non-canon one. But nevertheless, they both end up the same way. These both event could eventually lead to a inappropriate situation. So yeah, nevertheless, can it is indeed canon about their inappropriate stuff and how it destroys Springtrap and the lies that if we were to look at the original story, maybe even remakes of it, if you were to remember the original context that the creator added, this would ruin it knowing that Springtrap had inappropriate intentions with Dalaya, absolutely spoiling the story. Now here is why Baby and Derek is objectively better. Cin Tan is an amazing creator. I've seen his works and I've seen the stories that he has written. And long story short, if you were to have a take on if you were to get the original formula for wholesome story of an evil robot from a horror series becoming a lovely parental figure towards a kid was like given that formula, if Kintan was to have take that up, given their amazing storytelling abilities in the past and their like how good they are with stories, not to mention in 2160 they've had an episode where one of the characters, Tina, which for context is a robot, learns to hold on to a child and love them. Yeah, long story short, I have some really nice expectations. Second is the storytelling. Kintan is objectively very, 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 very good at storytelling in more ways than one. Possibly nearly surpassing, if not completely surpassing Springtrap and Delia in terms of story. He makes music videos that line perfectly with his characters, and he just like has this really good capability to do so, and it's a very good portrayal of things. Good port in the finacity in AU. He has a very good portrayal of supernatural things like possession and the hunt and the entering of spirits inside someone's brain. And given the context of FNAF, especially with Baby and Derek, with tons of supernatural and sci-fi stuff, that could serve as a really good device for storytelling. In other words, this could really be just written up as like potential. Yeah. Third is number C is like letter C. Is a new DNA and a better artificial life form. If we took the original DNA of Springtrap and Delia and made it way better and removed the bad parts of it, like took the original DNA, if it was a life form by somehow an organism, Kintan would take its DNA or its traits or DNA basically, take out the bad parts, the inappropriate things, and leave only the good parts. The idea of a murder robot becoming a wholesome parental figure to to a child. After that, they would add new things, new DNA, much better DNA, and create an artificial life from it that is Baby and Derek, a much better organism, a much that outmatches it in many ways than one. It could still outmatched in some level, but I clearly doubt that. So that this is in my opinion why in my opinion Kintan, you should do Baby and Derek, not Springtrap and Delia remake.